Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today as we dive deep into one of the most fascinating stories in the world of coin collecting, a story that blends history, rarity, minting technology, collector enthusiasm, and the sheer thrill of discovering that something as small and ordinary as a 1-cent coin struck in 2006 can in fact be worth millions of dollars. In this case, an astonishing $3 million because of its unique errors and mistakes that set it apart from ordinary circulation coins, and in this journey together we are going to explore what makes the 2006 1-cent coin so special, how minting errors occur, the kinds of mistakes that make certain coins stand out, why collectors place such extraordinary value on them, and what possibilities exist when it comes to examining your own pocket change and perhaps finding a treasure worth life-changing money. So let's begin with the understanding that coin collecting has always been about more than just currency. It is about history preserved in metal, about craftsmanship and national symbolism, about the artistry of engravers, and about the quirks of technology that sometimes lead to errors that slip through the quality control of the mint and end up becoming rare jewels for collectors. And when we specifically look at the 2006 1-cent piece, known to most people as the Lincoln cent, we recognize that millions upon millions were struck that year, meaning that at first glance nothing seems particularly rare about them. But it is within the small fraction of coins that contain mistakes that we find the incredible value, because an error coin is like a fingerprint of the minting process gone awry. It tells a story of how a die might have cracked, how a planchet might have been misaligned, how a double strike might have occurred, how the plating could have blistered, or how the pressure of striking might have distorted the intended design, and in 2006 several different varieties of errors have been documented, each fascinating in its own right. And while most errors may only fetch modest sums, a few rare ones have reached astronomical values because of their uniqueness, desirability, and condition, and one of those has been evaluated and sold for around $3 million, which is why the 2006 cent is such a hot topic among numismatists and treasure hunters alike. Now let us dig into what kinds of errors we are talking about, beginning with doubled dies, one of the most famous types of errors that collectors hunt for. And in 2006 there have been reported examples of doubled die obverse coins where the features of Abraham Lincoln's profile, his eye, his mouth, or the inscriptions such as "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" show signs of duplication because during the die creation process the hub impressed the design multiple times slightly out of alignment. And such doubled features are not mere scratches but genuine die-making mistakes that get replicated across multiple coins until the die is retired, making them legitimate mint errors with collectible value. And when such doubling is strong and visible without magnification, collectors go wild for them, and in some cases where the doubling appears bold across several key inscriptions, the value skyrockets. Now aside from doubled dies we also encounter off-center strikes in 2006 cents, where the planchet did not sit correctly in the press and as a result part of the design is missing while the blank part of the planchet is visible, and the more dramatic the off-center, up to around 50%, the rarer and more valuable it is, especially if the date remains visible, since having the date present confirms the year and authenticity of the strike. Then there are broad strikes, where the retaining collar that normally shapes the rim failed, causing the coin to spread out like a pancake with no defined edge. Another error that collectors love. And then we have clipped planchets, coins where the metal blank itself was improperly cut and a crescent-shaped piece is missing, giving it a distinctive appearance. And in 2006 examples exist where clips are combined with other errors, multiplying the rarity. Furthermore, there are die cracks and cuts, where the die itself developed a break and transferred a raised blob or line of metal onto the coin, often seen on Lincoln's head, around the rim, or through inscriptions, and such errors create highly collectible varieties known as cut errors, which can bring strong premiums, especially when the break is large. Another fascinating error is the strike-through, where a foreign object such as a piece of cloth, wire, or grease came between the die and the planchet during striking, leaving behind an impression of the object or obscuring parts of the design. And strike-throughs can be dramatic and one-of-a-kind, making them especially desirable. And in the case of 2006 cents, strike-through errors have been reported with extraordinary clarity, including full design obstructions that created bizarre and unique appearances. Now when we combine the idea of errors with the concept of condition, we begin to see how value is determined, because while many 2006 error cents exist, the one that reached a staggering $3 million was in pristine condition. Often graded by professional services as mint state with a high numerical rating, and condition is critical because collectors want sharp details. Minimal wear, an original mint luster, and when an extraordinary error appears on such a coin, the rarity increases exponentially, making it virtually one of a kind, and hence commanding such astronomical sums, and the possibilities do not end there, because there are also transitional errors, where the mint accidentally used the wrong planchet. For instance, striking a 2006 design on a planchet meant for a foreign coin or for another denomination, and such off-metal strikes are among the rarest of all errors, as they reveal major mistakes in mint procedures, and when discovered, they often make headlines in numismatic circles, and a 2006 cent struck on the wrong planchet could be light in weight, off in color, or otherwise abnormal, sparking immediate interest. Similarly, there are double denominations, where a coin is struck first as one denomination and then mistakenly overstruck with the design of another, producing bizarre hybrids, and such errors are the crown jewels of collecting. Now when we reflect on why someone would pay $3 million for a 1-cent coin, the answer lies not just in the error but in the culture of collecting itself, where rarity, provenance, and desirability intersect, because collectors and investors alike see such coins as tangible pieces of history, objects that cannot be replicated, and as such they are willing to pay fortunes to secure them. Knowing that demand will remain high, and as we explore this world, it becomes clear that anyone with patience and knowledge could stumble upon a fortune in their change, because errors slip through even in modern minting, and 2006 is not that long ago, meaning such treasures could still be lurking in jars, drawers, or circulation, waiting to be discovered, and the thrill of the hunt is what drives so many enthusiasts. Now if we imagine the specific 2006 cent that sold for $3 million, we envision a coin with a dramatic error such as a bold double die combined with a pristine state of preservation, authenticated by a leading grading service, publicized in auctions, and chased by elite collectors until the final hammer price reached the millions, and while only one such coin may exist, its story inspires countless others to search, examine, and treasure even the smallest details, and it teaches us that mistakes are not always bad, sometimes they create beauty and value far beyond intention. And that is the paradox of error coins, where imperfection becomes perfection in the eyes of collectors, and this makes the 2006 1 cent a legend in modern numismatics. But to truly appreciate the depth of the subject we need to go even further, examining the technical side of how these errors come to be, because the minting process begins with the creation of dies from hubs, and any misalignment during hubbing can produce doubled dies, while the feeding of blanks into presses can cause off-center strikes, broad strikes, and other errors, and the metallurgy of the planchets themselves can lead to plating blisters or lamination errors, where layers of metal peel away, all of which have been observed in 2006 cents, adding to the catalog of varieties, and when cataloged, studied, and confirmed, these errors gain recognition in price guides, error coin communities, and auction houses, further boosting their value, and over time the mystique grows. And the $3 million 2006 cent stands as a symbol of what can happen when rarity, condition, and collector demand converge. So if you are listening right now, let this be an encouragement that the coins in your hand, in your wallet, or in your piggy bank could hold stories worth exploring, and while not every coin will be worth millions, the joy of discovery, the appreciation of detail, and the chance of uncovering a hidden gem make the hobby so rewarding. And as we continue, remember that the story of the 2006 cent is not isolated, but part of a broader tapestry where coins from many years with unique errors have fetched high prices.